Welcome back to Artifact Cup 30 Round 4. This ought to be a good game. It's on Canyon Outpost, as all the Round 4 games will be. And we have Tren in the Soban versus... where is he? Here he is. Versus Saturas in the Knef. These are both very strong players. And Knef versus Soban is always interesting. I think the Knef in many ways are able to just dominate the Soban, but at the same time, there are tools available for the Soban to just kind of stonewall the Knef. And on such a big map, there is a greater opportunity for that. So we're going to see what happens.
Bring engines to full stop. Location designated. Hold fast and maintain.
Now I want to highlight this positioning, because Tren, I think, is going to do exactly what I suggest people do on this map. You notice that these salvagers are positioning themselves as Tren moves his carrier away. When they drop off, they're just going to move, they're going to inch closer to that carrier. And that's because, as you can see, salvagers can choose to be in any kind of radius around these resources. And if you can position your carrier on this map such that the salvagers still are like, you can see Tren just adjusting it very slightly. You want to adjust it so that at least one of these pockets can just drop off instantly. That gives you really fast resourcing, but then you want to get as close as possible with the other end of your carrier to this other pocket. So Tren's going to do that. I think there's also a valid option, which is you might be able to get two of these pockets able to drop off while getting one of these, or maybe vice versa. But in any case, he's going to maximize his mining potential there. And Saturas not quite going to do the same thing, which is too bad. As the Knef, an ability that you have is this mobility support ability, and that just creates this nice aura around your production cruiser and your carrier that makes units move faster. So you can use this when remote mining, especially on a map like this or on Dune Sea, and get pretty fast resourcing as the Knef. Instead, Saturas is going to move out with this production cruiser, which makes sense. On this map, and on any 2v2 map, I think, what you really want to do is you want to maximize your resourcing early like this, but then also go ahead with a rush, because in a 2v2 map you can have your cake and eat it too. You can have a strong economy on two bases and go for an early aggressive rush. Saturas is going to go for a production cruiser, so that's interesting, and he's going to go for another resource point here. He's getting refinery mode, so Saturas is going like greedy economy. I advise against that on this map, but you know what? We're going to see if it works. Maybe it's a valid strategy. Here, I really want to see a blast drone, because there are LAVs here. Tren would expect it, but there's an opportunity here for Saturas to get a nice hit on some of these LAVs as they're streaming in.
Move order confirmed.
Doesn't look like he's going to take that option unless he smokes real soon. He's going to pop smoke, maybe just wasn't paying attention, and he's going to start a blast drone producing. Tren has to expect this. But you know, if Saturas just turned around at the right moment into one of these smoke clouds, might be able to get that blast drone out in time to get a big hit. Here it is! And, oh, he's going to lose the targeting and not get it in time. That's really too bad, because that would have been an awesome hit, and that would have really done a number on Tren. As it is now, though, I'm worried for Saturas's defense. He doesn't have any sand skimmers out yet. He's building missile ship, or researching missile ship fab, excuse me.
Artifact recovered. Authentication confirmed. Mobilization.
Enemy contact on the board.
Confirmed. No contact.
He has missiles powered up for his carrier, which I think might be the wrong choice. Unless he can get a nice hit, which, okay, he can. So.
Hostile sand skimmer on sensor.
These sand skimmers are really outnumbered, and oh, that's such a nice missile hit. All right, I take it back, Saturas. Missiles was the right ability.
An LAV has been lost.
3 pretty nice hits, so okay.
Hostile sand skimmer on
Saturas is going to totally take care of these LAVs. He's going to lose a few sand skimmers. Big deal. No real economic damage done. And Tren can now see Saturas is on these 3 bases, and is going to have a superior economy.
Cruiser reading.
This is the captain.
We require additional RUs.
But just look at how many resources both these players are floating. Tren now realizing that maybe...
Rally point designated. Move out.
But just a huge amount of float here for Saturas.
Strike fighter online. Moving out.
Standing by.
So Tren has aircraft. Saturas obviously was expecting that because he researched missile ship tech. He also researched rail tech, so
Strike fighter ready for deployment.
he will have something that is vulnerable to those strike fighters, but also he's going to have missile ships to protect them.
Base runner online.
Here's an AA turret from Tren. Really nice positioning, by the way, both from Tren here, but also from JHS, to position AA right around this spot. In JHS's case, he did it with a missile ship, but still.
Salvager construction complete. Ports green. Reposition. Strike fighter online. Strike fighter is go for launch. Strike fighter ready for deployment.
Hostile contact marked. Hostile sand skimmer on sensors. Base runner engaging hostiles.
These clustered units are taking a lot of damage from the strike fighters. It is very difficult to micro a lot of sand skimmers to spread out, but you do want to do that and get it so that they're not hit by these tracking missiles.
Destroyed.
We have lost an artifact.
Anti-air turret under attack. Hostile contact on the board. Enemy on sensors.
Copy that. Bugging out.
Enemy signature identified.
Artifact coordinates locked.
Saturas has these missile ships now.
Copy. Returning
Excuse me,
carrier.
missile
hostile.
ships.
Hostile
And I hope
unit
he moves
marked.
one of them forward.
Just when we were getting comfortable.
Because when you keep a missile ship back here, you know, there's AA from the production cruisers, and if you keep the missile ship back,
Let's roll.
it's purely defensive, and you really want to be able to defend your forward units. So it looks like he's going to have at least one. I hope he moves it up and just keep it hidden back there.
Enemy sighted.
In any case, I think that
We have
Saturas'
bearing
intentions
on
are pretty
hostile
clear at this
target.
point. He's going to move out with his Knife carrier, but he doesn't really have any power to do
Three
that
items.
with.
Move quickly. We're cleared to move.
He's getting power reserve tech, so
Proceed to rally point.
he will attempt to make up for that, but he doesn't have the base runners out, and I think having a couple base runners would be huge for Saturas to be able to maybe snag these two artifacts here. Maybe he is afraid of the aircraft. It's a valid concern, but he also has missile ships, so moving forward with missile ships and railguns and base runners seems like the right play here. And moving forward with the carrier sooner rather than later seems like the right play here, but maybe he just wants a certain critical mass of AA. I'm not really sure. He's got a lot of assault railguns, so like,
Copy. On our way.
yeah, let's get moving here. I would say you want the missile ships moving out real early because they are so slow. You want to be able to get them out on the field.
Green light confirmed. Ready. Support cruiser online.
Saturas does not have missile ship upgrades yet,
Copy.
so we're going to see how much damage is done against these strike fighters, especially as clustered together as they are. Some AoE damage being done by these missile ships, especially as some of them try to retreat, one going down.
Strike fighter has been lost.
Oh, another few taking a lot of damage. Tren's going to get away with some very damaged fighters here.
Copy that. Bugging out.
But you can imagine if some of the missile ships had already been, maybe if one had already gotten up here,
Maximum fleet capacity reached.
these fighters would have all been dead. So having wide AA coverage, always very important.
Run a diagnostic on the PDA.
But those fighters will survive.
Orders.
Strike fighter ready for deployment.
Meanwhile, this is just absolutely lethal force.
Railgun assembly.
If these were in Tren's base right now or anywhere near them, maybe even just around here, this would be like game over. But
This is the
Tren
captain.
now is finally producing railguns. So, Saturas, buddy, you've got the power. Let's use it. Let's just, you know what, full power into mobility support. Get these missile ships moving faster. Get these railguns in there before Tren has a chance to fight back. you're giving him all of the opportunity to control the initiative here. You could be taking out these AAVs and then moving in with your sand skimmers. Just that alone would crush Tren right now.
Exchange Relay 03 is still giving us issues.
But you're being so passive. It's difficult to watch, I will say, because I've been in the same position where I go back and I look at a replay and I'm like, oh man, I could have just won that game.
Hostile unit marked.
It's,
Ready alert. All stations. Kenneth carrier inbound.
Saturas just tried to use a missile from a carrier to take out an AAV. Actually, to take out a UAV.
Tracking enemy target.
Spectrum analysis has identified an artifact.
AA turret taking fire.
En route. Get us moving.
Anti-air turret down.
Artifact extraction in progress. We have lost an artifact. Strike fighter, ready launch.
Here come the strike fighters, and here are the missile ships. So at this time, I would say these railguns are overextended. They gotta get back. Those sand skimmers are overextended, and they're gonna take so much damage from these strike fighters. These missile ships, meanwhile, are not really able to do much damage.
A railgun has been lost. Strike fighter down. Interceptor taking hostile fire.
Occasionally, those missile ships are getting some good hits on, but not as reliably as Saturas needs. And these, oh man, these assault railguns are really getting in Tren's face, but because of all the armored logistics modules that are here, they're not able to do tons and tons of damage. And there's still a lot of these AAVs hanging around, which are going to clean up the missile ships, clean up some of these assault railguns. Meanwhile, Saturas is tangling with some railguns over here. This could be really dangerous.
Push through.
Hostile assault railgun eliminated.
Saturas is focusing on Tren's economy, but not cleaning up these AAVs. Or the ALMs. You know, cleaning up the ALMs is a huge value when you're fighting a Soban player, because the ALMs are expensive, and if they're not supported, they are pretty vulnerable. That said, there are no missile ships anymore, and Tren has fighters, and there's a Kenneth carrier here that's kind of damaged, and Saturas' option right now to do the most damage, I think, is to get in and just pummel this carrier with missiles. He's going to instead try to use it against these railguns, which is reasonable. But this carrier is like completely unescorted now. There's just a few sand skimmers here, and there's a whole wall of AAVs from Tren here. This carrier is in trouble. I would be putting everything as regeneration and mobility support right now.
Hostile strike craft eliminated.
And just bugging out. There are not enough forces coming across the field to help, and you know, I think both players still floating a lot. Saturas especially floating huge numbers of resources. He could potentially be popping out base runners right now. They could be popping out blast drones, which in turn could be destroying these railguns. As it is, I suspect this carrier will now go down. Just a few more railgun hits.
Enemy signature identified.
Did eventually reprioritize into regen, but I think it is just too late.
Hostile contact marked.
Copy. Displacing now. Light attack vehicle online.
So very nice defense from Tren, really held on while his base was assaulted, and very good use of these armed logistics modules. He did have 3 units of power in those, so was able to make very good use of those to stonewall, as I mentioned earlier, to stonewall those assault railguns that were coming in from Saturas. And Saturas, I think, you know, just assaulted a little bit too late and allowed Tren a little bit too much time to prepare, but nice game overall. Definitely an interesting game. Canyon Outpost always generates some cool games, so I'm pretty excited for the rest of these round 4 games. Stay tuned for more of those coming up soon. And thank you for watching.